Hello everyone, this is Jimmy and welcome to episode 22 of Multiblock Madness, where I am lagging up a storm. I'm currently in the process of installing a new assembler tree because I've used up every single last crafting slot in that first one and we're not at the mass assembler yet. So we're going to, at the very least, need one more of these. I believe all this lag I'm getting, it's all FPS visual lag. My TPS is completely fine. However, while I'm looking at all those explosions, even if they're partially occluded by the obsidian, it's very laggy. If I look the other way, I mean, you know, where there's nothing going on, it's still laggy. All right, never mind. Well, you know what? We're just gonna have to deal with that more or less. Anyways, when oopsies, this assembler tree gets built out, we'll have another 32 times 9 recipe slots, so that's a fair number, but hopefully enough to get us to the mass assembler. We also now have enough raw ingredients and enough auto crafting speed that I will decorate the tree entirely. That is, we will have all the the maximum number of molecular assemblers here for maximum crafting speed. That's actually a lie. This isn't quite maximum speed. To truly get maximum crafting speed, you need to put 5 overclocker upgrades into each one of these. They have room for up to 5. However, I don't have enough Certus quartz to do that. I don't actually have a renewable source of Certus quartz at all yet. Should probably find an excavator vein of Certus and dig that up. But then even afterwards, you have to click 5 times on each of these to put them in, and there's, I don't know, 150 molecular assemblers. That's 600 clicks, man. I don't want to be bothered. Anyways, these, I don't just happen to have already found a Certus vein, right? If I have, I'll dig it, but no, and I think this is my oil. Oh well. Anyways, our mana generation from last video is going well. We're halfway-ish full on our mana pools. So this is 49 full mana pools worth. That's enough that when everything is completely full, I can request 100 pieces of Terra Steel in one go, and could probably be more than that because while we're crafting, we're also generating mana. In fact, just for now, let's just get 30 pieces of Terra Steel. You know, we're allowed to do that now, which is pretty awesome. All right. As for what we're gonna get into today, let's work our way towards tungsten and titanium. So for this, we need Nichrome, and Nichrome's a little tricky. What does this quest say? Right-clicking the... Okay, so we just have to make these coils. There's, I think, 2 forms of Nichrome, if memory serves me right. There's a rock hounding one, and there's the cute... No, maybe there's only rock hounding. Alright, so we can either inject chrome into nickel. This is one... I assume if we make compressed chrome, we get... I don't actually know how many pieces we get. Normally it's 80. So it's about 3 chrome per nickel. The other way to make it is to do the rock hounding way, I believe, where we use a no, maybe not a blend. No, that's just a crusher. Okay, never mind. I guess that's the only way. For some reason, I thought that this machine, the metal alloyer, could make nichrome. Nope, doesn't look like it. So anyways, no matter what we do, we have to make chrome. We were given a little bit of chrome from quest rewards, but I think I've used all that up now. So I think there's 2 main ways to get it. You can either industrial electrolyze ruby, well, 3 main ways. Industrial electrolyzer of ruby, chemical extractor. Basically, you have to go through all of rock hounding ore processing to process their various shards, many of which have a chance to give chrome. And the third one is ore leaching of iron ore, which gives 0.6 chrome per iron. And of these, the industrial electrolyzer is the easiest and most boring one. The rock hounding one is the most difficult, probably not the best yield, and and most difficult to automate one. So I think that one we're gonna just knock off the list. Let's try the ore leacher. Unfortunately, that does use iron ore, and I don't actually have an automated way of getting iron ore, but I think I have a lot of it, and it's very easy to mine. So we're gonna, if I need more than that later, I can either go mining for it, or we're very close to getting the quarry card. So let's set up ourselves a ore leacher. for chrome. It has some other benefits too. I think there's other ores that can be processed in it to also get rare byproducts. Oh, cool. We got one piece of compressed chrome, presumably from a cluster ward. We actually use that just to see how much chrome we actually get out of a single one. But anyways, the ore leacher is from, oh, can we make this yet? Hold on. Elite plating, boron. This can just be processed from uranium, right? No, we need calcium sulfate. I hate making calcium sulfate. This is like a 30-step process. Oh no. I have changed my mind. We will use the industrial electrolyzer to process ruby into chrome. The ratio is pretty awful. Every 9 rubies only gets us a single chrome. And I don't think there's a great way to get a lot of ruby. Like, there's no way to get 2 rubies out of 2 crushed ruby out of a ruby. Oh, there is this though. We can get ruby out of redstone. Do I have? Yeah, I only have 1,000 ruby, but I have 36,000 redstone because we have the redstone seed. Okay, let's do that. We'll turn redstone into rubies. Funny, in GregTech it's the no, it's not. In GregTech it's the same way. You turn redstone into ruby into chrome. Okay, that's the plan. I suspect this is a case where speed doesn't really matter, and I just want to maximize efficiency. So I'm going to use auxiliary sieve augments here. That increases the chance that we get byproducts. So since all the things that come out of processing redstone here are byproducts, they're chance products. I think they all count as byproducts. The fact that I'm getting a guaranteed, it seems like, yeah, with 4 of these, we get a nope, not quite guaranteed. We just missed one there. But it's just short of guaranteed ruby dust. We get some other stuff too. What's pyrite useful for? Iron. Turns out we can get iron out of redstone and silicon. But yeah, with auxiliary sieve upgrades, our processing is more efficient. Now, one thing I'm keeping in mind of being mindful for here is this uses 6,000 RF a tick, and while we can produce that much energy, I don't think our fuel production, in fact, our fuel production is out. Yeah, I don't think our fuel production is up to stuff to keep up with constant use at that level. Why don't we take a quick detour and make ethylene-based power? So if we get biofuel and a pressurized reaction chamber, just these 2 quests, we should be able to make ethylene very efficiently. The production of ethylene itself is pretty simple. There's actually only 3 machines. First, you electrolyze some water for oxygen and hydrogen. Right now, we only need the hydrogen, but the oxygen will come into play later. So maybe we should get a tank of it and not just void it all. Or a basic will do. But anyways, let me just drop this here. This is, well, still void excess. All right. So we then combine hydrogen with water and biofuel, which comes from crushing any plant-like material. So here I'm doing melons. Crush it, and that reaction produces substrate and ethylene. So the substrate is, you can do whatever you like with it, although what I'm going to do is just store it. This is useful later. So this is a very good byproduct. We use it with some of our ethylene to make HDPE. However, for now, we don't need HDPE, so I'm just storing it in a fully upgraded drawer. This thing, if the UI is going to open, holds, 393,000 or something like that. Effectively infinite. Anyways, the other product is this gaseous ethylene. So the gaseous ethylene can be burnt in a gas burning generator, or we can turn it into liquid ethylene and pump it into the advanced generator. I don't think there's a gas intake valve, is there? Oh, there is a gas intake valve. Actually, let's try I think it's slightly more fuel efficient to burn it in the gas turbine, because the gas turbine gains the benefit of fuel efficiency. The gas burning generator from Mechanism and the turbines here are of equal efficiency if we discount the fact that, how do I describe it? If the fuel, or if you discount the efficiency gains from the gas mix or fuel air mixer and gas mix compressor, they're of equal fuel efficiency. However, because we get those upgrades on the gas turbine, but not on the but not on the gas burning generator. Sorry, it's a little confusing. They're all gas burning stuff. This thing, it's slightly more efficient to use the advanced generator. I think, maybe. Early in the process of burning down the last of our biodiesel in here, but when burning biodiesel, it takes 26 millibuckets to make 36.6 thousand RF. When this switches over to ethylene, I think this number will be divided by about 10. So it'll be about, 2.6 to 3 millibuckets to make this much energy. Let's find out exactly. So I think I've already got this set up. Once this runs out, it should accept ethylene. Come on. And big moment of truth. It's empty. Why is this? You eject the front. Yes. Extract always. Insert. For some reason, it didn't like the conduit. That's all right. We'll directly push from the tank into the turbine. So yeah, it's 3.3 millibuckets per tick. Not so it's like 8 to 9 times as fuel efficient as biodiesel, and that's to produce the full amount of energy. Since our energy load is not quite that high, we don't even consume ethylene at that rate. To speed this up even further, we have the mechanism upgrades that can go into all of these machines. So energy and speed upgrades can go into the electrolyzer, and the one that matters most is the pressurized reaction chamber. The crusher probably doesn't even need any upgrades to keep up with it, just because it has a factory variant. Unfortunately, there is no factory variant pressurized reaction chamber, but I mean, it takes, how long do you think this is to make maybe 10 ticks per operation, and it produces 100 millibuckets of ethylene, so it makes about 10 millibuckets of ethylene a tick. If we were to use it all, then we would burn 3.3 millibuckets per tick of ethylene. So we could multiply this by 10. We can produce about a little bit over 100,000 RF per tick off of just this, off of 3 machines. Ethylene power is very good. We'll come back later and use the substrate for stuff. The substrate does use some of our ethylene, so we can't burn literally every last drop of it, but we can burn a significant amount of ethylene. With power taken care of, we're back to our centrifugal separator here. The outputs are, there's a fluid output of mercury. I don't actually know what all mercury is good for. Probably not much. I think it can be used in ore processing. Yeah, it can be used in the industrial grinder for extra yield, and I guess we may as well use at least some. I mean, it gives us an extra stardust from star metal. Some of these might be, maybe some of our rarer ores are worth processing with mercury, but by and large, it's a waste byproduct. The ruby is what we're after. The silicon and pyrite I'm storing in voided jars, and then this process will stop when we fill up a ruby jar, so 2000 and change ruby dust. So anyways, now that we have the ruby, we have to electrolyze it. This requires the industrial electrolyzer itself, and I forget, is it the... I don't think the industrial electrolyzer actually needs a multi-block. Is that correct? Some of the industrial machines in Tech Reborn do, some don't. Let's just make it and find out. The electrolyzer doesn't look like it uses a multi-block. It doesn't have the whole multi-block missing UI, which is what I expected. Anyways, let's pipe ruby into here. The process of electrolyzing ruby does produce some other things. So pulverized aluminum, I mean, I guess that's fine. Chrome dust and compressed air. Of these, I don't really care about the pulverized aluminum or compressed, I mean, the aluminum fine, but the compressed air is really useless, and it does take 3 empty cells to do the operation. So because of how useless the compressed air is, I'm just going to extractor it and send it right on back. All right, so what that means is that if I give it 1 set of cells to begin with, we can take this slot specifically. The compressed air will always be in the 3rd slot. Auto output it to an extractor, which turns it back into empty cells, and that way the empty cells are never consumed. The only parts of this operation that are consumed is the ruby. As for these products, I think I'm just going to store them back in the same drawer network here. Yeah, so output those, and we'll store them in 2 more drawers here. Now that we have chrome dust, let's test how much chrome we get out of a single piece of this. 400. Wow, that's actually a lot. A lot more than I expected. That's good news, though. That means that we don't actually use too much chrome in the process here. So let's upgrade our metallurgic infuser as much as it goes, and at least make it, that's advanced, at least make it the 3-slot factory. So what we're going to do is take that chrome dust, all right, take that chrome dust, supply it into a redstone furnace because we have to smelt it first. This unfortunately does mean we'll end up with quite a few stacks of buffer. 1 stack here, 2 stack there, 1 stack here, 1 stack, so 4 stacks, and a 5th stack in here. We're gonna buffer 5 stacks of chrome, but that's all right. We make it passively, you know. It'll fill up our buffer eventually. Anyways, we smelt it into ingots, enrich it into plates, and then let's copy few settings to here and insert it into the enrichment chamber where we can use it to turn nickel into nichrome, and I think there's something else we can do with this. Nickel into nichrome and steel into stainless steel. Ooh, fancy stuff. Let's try ordering some nichrome. 30-ish ingots is way more than enough. This thing should be relatively quick. Did I put upgrades in it? In fact, while we're at it, may as well upgrade all of these machines to advanced tier, and if I can, even to elite tier. Good old 7-slot factories. Unfortunately, those are as good as they get. No ultimate factories yet, but still, elite tier factories, very, very, very good. Our nichrome should be done by now, so let's grab it, turn it into coils in the rolling machine. I believe that was the recipe. No? Oh. Oh. Alright, we get half as many coils as I thought. That's alright, it's still plenty. This is enough to upgrade 2 blast furnaces, and you'll notice that we only have 1. So click on it, we now have 3200 heat, which is presumably high enough to cook tungsten and titanium. Now the question is, where do we get those dusts from? So tungsten, we have tungsten ore, and I think we also have wolframite ore. Another one of the, or is it, no, sheldonite is is platinum. I guess it's just tungsten ore. All right. Let's see what we do with this. We can directly blast furnace it for 2. Industrial grindering, it gets a small manganese. Is manganese useful? Probably, eventually. There's an easier way to get, right? It's a rock crusher output or something. Am I making that up? We've already used manganese, haven't we? It's a tier 5 material. Yeah, we do. Given that we don't care for that byproduct, I think we're just going to blast furnace it as is. Probably same for rutile ore. What is our byproduct if we choose to process it? None. Cool. And this is just titanium. So we'll run this through. How slow are you? You're on the slow side. Thankfully, I don't make enough power to time to bottle this. I don't think it's that I'm not making enough energy. I think it's that I'm not converting that energy. Well, I'm not basically transferring it into the blast furnace fast enough. So I switched from insulated cable to glass fiber cable. I should get more energy transferred over. Yeah, so that's quite quick. Anyways, we don't need tremendous amounts of this stuff yet. We're gonna have to come up with some automated way to get the ores. Probably it's an output of come on, deposit it. It's an output of the void miner. Or not the void miner, the I don't have one. The excavator from immersive engineering somewhere. If we need a lot of it, that's probably the best way to get it. Otherwise, I don't know. Worst case, we mine it. Rutile is quite plentiful in the beneath, and tungsten is quite plentiful in the end. Tungsten and titanium serve as the effective gates to both Underio and advanced rocketry. So let's start with Underio here. I think the initial advanced rocketry step isn't even to go to space. It's to build their machines, to build further machines. So yeah, let's start with Underio because I want the Underio alloy smelter. I think it is faster than the induction smelter. It's definitely more energy efficient, so that can get us all the way down here to mana dust, although I think our ultimate goal is to get our void miner running, but we have to do, doesn't look like there's much optionalness in this chapter. Almost everything in this chapter is required in some way. Anyways, Underio frames, so the industrial and soul chassis, I think, yeah, they're both made in the 3D crafter. And do I need Essentia for each of these? Machina and Spiritus. Okay. I feel like we've made good progress today, so I think it's time to get distracted by a tangent of questionable value. These chassis all require these Essentia, and we can make it just fine right now in our Thaumium Essentia smeltery. However, this thing it's like 80-ish% efficient. It turns some of the items that we smelt into literally nothing, and it releases flux. All of that, you know, like, we can deal with it. It's not a big deal. But why don't we do extraordinary amounts of effort to make a Mythmanite smeltery, which is both 125% efficient. That means, say, this item here, this one, says it has 1 metal in it. Every now and then it'll have 2 metal in it. Magic. And it releases 0 void, whatever, flux. So it's clean and 100% efficient. You know, yeah, that's good. Anyways, to get there, we have to go through all the different tiers. Technically, even if we just stop at Mithrilium, this is 100% efficient and 0% flux generating. But let's start by upgrading it to Void Metal. The upgrade from Thaumium to Void Metal is trivially easy. I've already made a Primordial Pearl, so we literally just use it to make advanced alchemical construct. Can we? Oh, thank God we can make alchemical constructs in the 3D crafter. I would have been very sad if we couldn't. And then upgrade that. All right. The maybe I shouldn't have done that. The Void Smeltery is, I believe, more efficient and less polluting, but also slower than the Thaumium one. Oh, what's done is done. So next tier, Mithrilium, requires these Mithrilium ingots. That's done as an infusion recipe, and not too much to it. Last episode, when I was setting up the Arcane Infusion, or not Arcane Infusion, Thaumcraft Infusion automation, I talked about recipes like the Mithrilium ingot here, where the item that is produced on the infusion crafter later has to go into the center slot of the infusion crafter to craft the next tier. So this is a case where we have to do something different to extract the final item. We can't just add it to this filter here, right? Because if I did, when we go to extract, or when we go to craft adamanite later, it'll just withdraw the Mithrilium. That's obviously not going to work. So what I want to do is set up a level emitter with a crafting card here set to emit redstone while crafting Mithrilium, and I set this export, or this item conduit, to only extract Mithrilium ingots while it has a redstone signal. So while we're crafting Mithrilium ingots, the level emitter lights up, turns the item conduit on, extracts it when we're done. When we're crafting the other ingot later, the level emitter is off, so this extract is off, so the item will stay in the pedestal for the craft. Let's give it a shot and craft some Mithrilium. I need how much to make the smelter? Looking at things, I think we're actually stop here for now. The next 2 tiers of smelter will require a lot of work, and you know what? I'm not feeling that detoury today. So I need 5, but it takes 3 to make a plate, so I need 6. Let's go for 10. Nope, I don't have amber. Uh-oh. There's plenty of it to be had at the top of the beneath, but instead of going for that, I have enough to make the 6 ingots I need. So we'll get more of it later. All right, hit the go button, and if my automation is set up right, I don't have to do anything. We just have to observe. The fact that it has not started crafting probably means I did something wrong. Why is that? it looks like we have the right items. I mean, if we look at what's in the item interface, right, it's 1 ingot and then 2 each of the side items, and that is the recipe. 1 ingot and 2 each of all 4 side items. All 5? 5 types of side items? Yeah. Is it just that... Alright, so it's just that this is not auto-started. I may have restarted my game since, I don't think I did. But I guess what happened is, because I may have relogged or something, the automated user probably forgot its knowledge sharing. So every time I restart the server effectively, which is relog because I'm in single player, I have to reteach the automated user. In fact, I can probably just leave the tome in here. I think it automatically uses the leftmost item, so if I wanted to, you know, go through and use a tome once. No, it's still not starting it though. Why is this? 1 by 1 use, always on. Hey, click the thing. Weird. The automated user here was able to start infusions earlier. Let's give it the other book. The Cheater's Thaumanomicon. If I do that, are you able to start? No. I wonder why my infusions aren't auto-starting. I tried relogging again to make sure we started fresh, and yeah, for some reason, the mechanical user, or this automated user, just cannot start this recipe. Don't know why. It almost assuredly is because it doesn't think it has the appropriate research, but whatever. With time in a bottle shenanigans, I can just start them all myself and deal with it. So anyways, that should have made our mithrilium ingots. So let's go ahead and upgrade our smeltery one more time. This time the upgraded product has 100% efficiency. I need more alchemical constructs, yeah. But because it has 100% efficiency, that means that it's very easy to just say, you know, if I need X points of something, I can just find... I just Domino Special have 5 years on it. I don't know, but I don't have to, you know, worry about like how much do I have to burn to get the thing, because yada yada yada. We get exactly what we signed up for. This is where the 3D printer really shines as well. Let's order 15 of these. Oh, thank God. I don't have to build the multi-block here, right? This is one of the ones that we couldn't build with capsules because of all the tile entities. So the 3D printer, though, can just print them directly. 3D printing is the best. So anyways, let's grab some of these, upgrade them to their advanced variant. Oh, they're using a lot of recipes. One of our primordial pro charges. Let's just make a couple of these in advance. There are 3. And then upgrade this. Of course, now I no longer have enough Essentia in this chunk. So why don't we take our plates, crystals, and go craft it on our old crafting table, which is in the magical forest, more or less. Let me through the door. It's so hard to actually walk around when I'm moving this fast. I overshoot all the time. There we go. So yeah, we got plenty of this here. Load these a little bit. All right. So that's our 100% efficient smeltery. There are, as I mentioned, way more tiers. It goes up to 150% efficiency, but it's also very, very expensive. So I'm sure we'll have to get there eventually. The like super high tier magical ingots, my gut says they'll be used in crafting recipes later. But now, I need a bunch of spiritus. Well, that probably comes from soul sand. That has 3 points each. Good enough. And Machina. Is that one the gear? It is. Sure. Well, it comes from pizza. I've got tons of pizza, and it's a pure source, so... Well, I've got 500 pizza. We'll Look, I don't know why pizza's made of gears, but apparently pizza's a 100% pure source of gears. Don't ask. From there, we can fill up a bunch of these vials. Let's do, whoopsies. I don't want Fabrico, I want my gears. 8 of those, and gosh, maybe I should set this onto item name mode so they don't jump around on me. And I guess I only have enough for 7 for now. All right, well, with that, we can set up our 3D crafter recipes to make the chassis. Both of these chassis are another case where you have the 1 yield recipe or the 2 yield recipe by switching to a different block. So instead of tungsten, we have to make some Widia. I don't actually know how difficult this is to make. Widia ingots are 80% Widia. Gee, thanks. Oh dear. Yeah, that's not happening. So we're just gonna 1x yield it and be content with what we get. Make it an industrial one and a soul one. Unfortunately, these take a while to print. The recipe itself is what, 20 seconds inherently, and time in a bottle does not work on the 3D printer. But, oh. You can time in a bottle it, it's not making it any faster though. Anyways, well, I saw one of the chassis has finished. So there's chassis number 1, and here comes chassis number 2. Now, when we get advanced machine casings, then we can replace all these reinforced ones and make the printer a little bit faster. But there we go. Chassis number 2 and 1 bowl of Underios. Ooh, got a heart off that too. I thought those teleported you when you ate it. But yeah, that gets us into Underio. Unfortunately, I think that's all the time we have for today. So actually doing stuff with this, like making the alloy smelter and stuff, we'll have to wait. I am kind of curious, what is the best alloy smelter capacitor we have? 3.5 is pretty good. You can upgrade it to a 4.5 with that. 3.7 is pretty good. I think 3.0 is baseline, right? 3.0 is what you get from an octated capacitor. So if it's not better than 3.0, it's not that great. Wow, we have less capacitors than I thought. But just to wrap things up, then let's combine these two. So we combine 2 capacitors. It improves the global level by +1, and the if they have the same like special machine in it, that goes up by a little bit too. But yeah, so that's a level 4 capacitor, and I believe the highest you can get is 5 normally by crafting, but we can do even better. We'll take one of our other, I think it has to at least be 3.0 baseline quality. Sure. And combine those. Oh, it has to be same model as well. Dang it. Will it let me use that one? That one's only 2 baseline quality. It will not, so that doesn't do it. Hold on. This whole capacitor combining thing is kind of black magic. I might not have another one that's sufficiently good. We'll go the long way. We have plenty of EXP to burn. Combining these makes it a 3 point something. Combining those doesn't make this any better at all. I'm a filthy liar. All right, whatever. We have 1 good capacitor to use in our first alloy smelter. Good enough for me. Anyways, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.